Welcome to another My Outlander Purgatory recap. This week, we continue our Season 7 coverage with a recap of Episode 702, The Happiest Place on Earth. Ready? Then pour yourself a wee dram, settle in, and let's do this. Hi, everyone!
Hi, everyone!
I'm Tracey.
I'm Carol.
And we are my...
Outlander
Purgatory! Carol, how are you? And I should ask, tear ducts okay?
Oh my God. You didn't warn me. Didn't warn me. She didn't warn me. You guys, she didn't warn me.
All I know is that the minute I saw the title, and I'm not one that I don't like to they release all the titles of the episodes like way ahead of time. I mean, and I'm sure I'm not the only person.
No, I don't.
Oh, well, yeah, they do. And I don't like reading
being a
them
wise guy.
Because half the time they're the titles of various chapters. And the other half of the time, if you read the books, you can kind of figure out what's going to happen. So this one is called The Happiest Place on Earth. And of course, I was already sobbing, like, at that point 2 months ago, because I was like, oh, I know
it's the one. It's the one.
You guys, we have so much to talk about tonight. Last week, I had like 2 pages of notes, and, it was a good episode last week, but it was kind of like getting everyone back to speed, exposition, wrapping up the Claire and jail storyline. This, I think I have at least 4 pages. Just so much shit goes down in this episode. Carol, what about you?
Same. And yeah. I was getting screen grabs so I would know where I was. And I have, when you see me looking over here, it's because I'm reading my notes.
And my notes are over there.
Oh, I wrote down multiple things that, number one, I want to remember for life. One, I actually literally wrote, and I'll tell you when we get to it, like, oh my God, I want this like on my wall. And I was also like, did Diana Gabaldon write, like, are these quotes that I'm hearing, did she write every single one of them? Like, I always want to go back. And this is where I'm like third sister Jill, because I'm being computer lazy. And I'm just asking Tracey, was this from the books? Instead of going back and checking my Kindle where I can do my little search for the words and it'll pull it up. So I cried. I had to stop the video. I had to get up and get tissues. I was a mess. I was a mess in this video, in this episode.
So it'll be really funny for us to be a mess in this video as well. I had a thought and it went right in my head. But one thought I do have is, you guys, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got to 4,000. I think we're at like 4,040 or something right now.
So we're back where we were.
Yes. We made up. We lost a few subscribers along the way, but we made them up.
We lose a little during draft.
Big news of the week. We made a TikTok, you guys. We've been threatening to do it forever. We made a TikTok account and then it just sat there for a year. And we're like, oh yeah, we'll do something with TikTok now. Well, whatever. We did it. So now that we've lost our I want to say TikTok. I'm old. Or we should call it that. The old people's TikTok is TikTok.
That my kids wouldn't be surprised in the least.
But we've lost our TikTok virginity, so to speak. So now we will be doing much more content on that. Carol, what are you drinking this fine evening?
I'm going to get a little more just to show you. My tried and true, my friend. You guys, you need your comfort food when you've got sad Jamie Fraser talk happening. And so Matua gets the job done.
Yeah, this is comfort wine indeed. Indeed. I am drinking this lovely Pinot Gris, which is like the French-Italian Pinot Grigio from Alsace.
Okay.
And it is from Wine Club, and it's very good. And
Let me see that again. I missed it. Oh, pretty. It's the world.
Yes, and it is from a region of France, and it's quite tasty. So I'm going to have a little more here. Any other like Outlander news? I can't really think of any. So many people had great things to say, as always. That was one thing I super missed from Outlander is everybody's comments on the show, on what we had to say, on their own feelings about like things, whether you agreed with us, you disagreed with us, you had really good points to make.
Right. I agree. I have to say, and we like the ones where we're disagreed with too. I like them all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
yeah, people make points that we didn't think of, and it was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I still think this, but like I get your point, and like that's an interesting perspective. Absolutely. Or maybe you're like, you know what, you were totally right, I was wrong. There you go.
Yeah, sometimes people point things out. Well, I think I'm the first one to be like, you guys, I don't remember, so fill me in, which I like it because people then send stuff. Hey, this happened, that happened, blah, 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 blah. And I have to be honest with you, I don't really have much of an ego because like I'm too lazy. But honestly, oh my God, I loved everybody saying like, we're glad you're back. And
I know,
this is
it was
great.
Nice.
The Mob Sister, I was like, they really, really like us.
They like us. They really like us.
Oh my God, it really helps. Like it really made me feel good. You guys, we love it. We love doing this. We love chatting with you. And keep them coming. We read them all. Answering them all would be a little bit like, we try to like them. We try to whatever, but the bottom line is we read them all. So keep them coming, please. And I love when people interact with each other too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I agree. When you have these little side conversations and it's just like, you and I aren't even like jumping in, but we're just reading them and being like, yeah. And I'm sorry, like we have the smartest, we have the mop community is the smartest Outlander fans on the planet. I said it.
I agree.
Just so much great stuff. So many good things to say. There was one thing that I'll say that we obviously disagree with, which is like somebody, of course, is like, "Get to the point," and it's like, "Hi, this is the witty banter that we do before the show starts, before we dive in." Ever watch Smartlist or listen to Smartlist, the podcast, or like pretty much any podcast? That's what they do. You don't jump right in. You like, it's your amuse-bouche, if you will. Like give people a little, moment to sort of grab their drink if they need it, and then we jump in, as we're about to do.
I don't know what. I think you said amuse-bouche.
Amuse-bouche. Look it up.
I don't know what that means, but I will say this: I can agree to an extent. So if whoever made the little comment that we should get to the point, I didn't really understand the really equals, but whatever. So I get it. I'm not hating on you. I like that you voiced your opinion. And I said, I think last week that I sometimes feel that way about other podcasts when I listen to them. I will say this. Number one, we've always been on YouTube, and we're also thinking about doing some other things podcasty as well, but we've always been on YouTube. So in YouTube, that kind of is the way, you say, hi, you can see us. So we're like, hey, what are you doing? Before we get into it. However, it also hit me when this person pointed it out that when I'm listening to a podcast in the car and I'm like, oh, get to the point. Guess what? You can fast forward oftentimes 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Mm-hmm. Just fast forward. If you're listening to us and you want to hear this stuff, just until we get there. All I would ask is stick with us. Just fast forward us, but stick with us, because I guarantee you are going to hear something that you're glad you heard and you want to talk more about it and you want to get into it with us. That's all I have to say about that.
All right. Okay. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready to start? Are we ready? Okay.
I was born ready.
Okay. This is Outlander 702, episode 702, The Happiest Place on Earth. Written by Tony Graffia, who's been there since day one, I think, but she's been there since the early days. Always like when you see Tony Graffia on the written by, it's gonna be a good one. And directed again by Lisa Clark, who directed last week's, who is not the Lisa Clark that I went to college with. Okay.
Gotta get that in.
Wouldn't that be awesome if it was? I'd be in like Flynn for like a site visit to season 8. Like, I'm telling you that right now. Okay, so we have a cold open. The voiceover from Claire. The first thing I wrote down, honestly, and we're gonna get more into this, but
I bet I said the same thing. What
was yours? What was yours? And we'll say,
how is Claire's hair so long?
Well, no. Okay. All right. We're gonna go there because I'm sorry we have to. But I wrote down her hair looks great. Her hair looks great. Well, I mean, first of all, time has passed, obviously.
Clearly, I mean, let's face it, 6 inches in a year. So it's been a year, according to Claire's hair.
I mean, to nutshell it, the wigs were horrific in this episode, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, there was somebody,
but not horrific in the scene. Maybe. Her wig was fantastic. It was like tight curls, almost like mine, but like a little bigger, and a little longer. But again, I felt like that's marking time. That time has gone by. You know, it's maybe it is 6 months since.
Girl, that hair is a year old, if not more.
Although clearly it's not, because in the next scene, Bree's gonna have the baby.
Tracy,
we'll get to that.
What do we know about since we have curly hair? Hello, Miss Corkscrews. What happens to curly hair when you stretch it out? That is absolutely 6 inches of growth from the crazy hair last week that was right here.
Well, the problem, I mean, like, spoiler alert, the problem is that the crazy hair comes back multiple times in this episode. We'll get to that. Okay, so she's got her little basket, I think, or whatever. I don't know. She's walking around, looking at the garden, whatever.
She's like frolicking through the field.
And then she goes up to the graveyard. And oh, look, it's Alan Christie. And he is lying. Well, he's not lying. He's like on his knees at Malva's grave, which is still like creepily, like, the big hump of, like, they didn't just not bury her. They just like lay her out, throw some dirt over her, and
Claire's hair doesn't match Malva's grave. Okay,
so he is there on his knees next to her grave, and looking like he's praying or whatever, except there's a big fat gun next to him. So Claire's like, "Oh, hey, Alan, what's up?" And Alan's like,
"Hey," and she's seeing the gun there, like, "Oh."
She's like, "Hey, Alan, what's up?"
Oh,
I can already tell you guys it's gonna be a long one.
See you're packing.
I mean, I did think to myself, like, any dude in the ridge is gonna be packing, but like, and maybe that's the thing, when you go to the grave, it's impolite to like have a concealed weapon.
To conceal carry, to be packing.
Ironically, there's nobody to kill. It's already dead. So I don't know.
You don't really need it. He's waiting for the grave robbers.
Could be. All right. So yeah, she's like, "Hey, Alan, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, not much. I just like was having sex with my sister, and was the father of her baby, and killed her because she was going to tell on me because she like wanted to confess to you."
Yeah, and during all that, she's like, "You killed her," and Tom and this and that, and I'm literally thinking, okay, I have read this. I have watched this, and I still can't keep this friggin' Christie family straight. We got the aunt and the uncle and the Malva's their kid, and I'm so confused.
Well, I mean, okay. So basically, Tom Christie, back in the days of Scotland before the Rising, right? He was married to the mother, and she was sort of a witch,
and she was.
She was Craig. I feel, and Alan was their son. Okay, then he goes off to do the Rising stuff, and I guess his brother was all like, "Yeah, like I'll watch over them for you." Except the brother, I think it was the brother, like they had an affair, and Malva was born of that. So Malva was not Tom Christie's daughter. But in Tom Christie's mind, she was a witch, just like her mother.
Right.
I don't get the sense that Alan thought she was a witch. Thought she was a hottie, basically.
Oh my God, it was so disgusting. He was like, I was there when they put her in my arms, and then I was doing her. I was
what did he say?
Disgusting.
Did I? Oh, her wee privates.
Jesus, I have it written down in caps. Her wee privates like a flower bud. And then I have OMFG. I might hurl, just like Claire looks like she's going to. Claire was showing such disdain.
Oh my God. Claire's face during all this
Claire
was like, she was just smelling the worst smell that ever wafted off of, how there's like that stink flower that like blooms like every 10 years and people go to see it and they're like, oh my God, this is the worst smell ever. That's what she was smelling.
Oh my God.
She was like, Alan Christie, I'm smelling a stink flower coming out of you. She was
so grossed out. And it was exactly perfectly timed with me thinking, ew.
So basically as he's telling what happened, we see what happened. And so we got to see Malva one more time. And I mean, I don't know if they like shot this, in the last season or whatever, who knows?
Right.
I don't know. But it was very nice to see her again.
I know. I kind of miss her.
Sort of inopportune time for her.
Yeah.
So he's telling the whole story, and then he's like, yeah, I can't live with myself. And he grabs the gun, like he's going to go, all Shawshank on everybody. And Claire's like, no, don't. And I feel like she gets the gun. Did she get the gun away from him?
Yes, she got the gun away from him. And I'm thinking, girl, what are you doing? Let him.
I know. It was kind of like, well, what are you going to do, Claire? Like, let him go? Like, you have to too bad Jamie took out Richard Brown the week before because he likes taking people to New Bern to get hang it. So
and honest to God, at first when she saw the gun, she was thinking, I don't know. I thought she was a little worried about herself. They're like, oh, he's got a gun. This guy doesn't like me. So
yeah, I don't know. She didn't seem worried about herself. But in any case, she might as well let him have the gun and had his way with it. Although, Ian's way is a lot cleaner, I think, and not quite as messy. Because, as we're going to talk about later, I don't think Claire likes having blood on her or any sort of disgusting blood mess. Because we'll talk about that later. So Ian's way was a lot, less messy.
Right, but I at that point am thinking. Have there not been enough legal woes in this family? Claire's hair is barely grown back, and you're now putting her in a bad position again.
Well, in any case, she's like, no, I have the gun now. You can't kill yourself. And Ian, thoughtfully, gets rid of him for her.
And R.I.P. Alexander Vlahos. And
R.I.P. Alexander Vlahos. R.I.P. Jessica Reynolds. They both slow golf clap for both of them. They were extraordinary cast members.
But this is his death. I already mourned her. I just love him so much. And I was like, oh, goodbye. Goodbye. I'm gonna go binge Versailles again, I promise.
See, I didn't recognize him from that. He thought, he was just, the actor, whatever.
Oh,
can I throw something out there? I feel like I kind of wish that last week had ended with this scene instead of, it's kind of not worth it to rehash the whole Richard Brown, did Jamie kill him in cold blood and was it in cold blood, blah, blah, blah. Right. I think a lot of people said, yes, he did. They won't go back to it. And I'm on board with that. I buy it. And then people are sort of split on was it cold blood? Whatever.
I have something to say about that too.
Okay, go ahead.
Was it him in the books? Because I was thinking this last week, and I'll be honest with you, you guys. Sometimes I keep my mouth shut because I don't want to sound like more of a dumbass than I already make myself sound like. Was he the guy in the books? Wasn't there somebody in the books that Jamie had one kill? Jamie had one person he killed in cold blood it wasn't in defense. They weren't fighting for, you know what I mean? There was one person. Was it him?
No.
Have we already reached that point?
No. If it's what I'm thinking of, no, we have not. We have not.
I don't remember it being in what's lying ahead, in what lies ahead.
I mean, so, as far as I remember with Richard Brown, like Jamie does not kill him in the books. Richard Brown and his whole posse sort of, I can't really say yet, but like show up again, but like not in a very, if I recall, a hugely threatening way, more of a like maybe pain in the ass way.
Okay.
But no, they don't show up. No, Jamie does not kill him. No. Okay. And you're right. There's one questionable kill, but we have not gotten to it yet. If it's what I'm thinking of.
Okay, we'll see.
So I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of Jamie killing Richard Brown. I would have taken that whole last scene, I would have thrown it out of the trash, and I would have ended it with this scene where we saw the cold open today, where it ties up the whole story of Malva in a nice bow in the first episode.
Right, but refresh my memory on, I hate to bring this up, but the awful rape scene with Claire. Was he one of the ones? Did he violate Claire? Is my question.
I don't think so. I mean, but this is really hard to remember because in the show, if you remember, and if I'm remembering correctly, Claire during that point was all sort of like, like disassociating and like you kind of couldn't really tell what was going on. Whereas in the book, she's super clear-headed and she's like almost funny. And so you get like person A that starts to try and then like can't for some reason. And then you get Donner who like is like, well, I have to sort of fake that I'm doing it or they're going to kill me, whatever. And she's like, get off me. And then there's person C who does go through with it. And she describes him because again, it's really she's much more
yes
coherent and like aware of what's happening in the books.
Can I assume that Jamie just saw him as the ringleader and?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Like the other, not Lizzie. Marshall took out the other one. Marshall took out the worst one last season.
Right.
You're never gonna get me on board with that. It's like pointless to talk about it. Whatever. It is what it is. If I were choosing, I would have ended the last episode with this scene. It was just kind of a little like, oh shit, we forgot there's one string we have that's still loose that we got to get rid of. Where can we do it? Just do the cold open and then we're good and we can be done with it. That's kind of how it felt to me.
I just wondered if it was done because of the main crux, if you will, of the episode is really a downer. And then you have like the last 5 minutes that you're sitting on the edge of your seat. So I don't know. I thought maybe they did it that way to break it up a little bit.
Maybe. And I will say that scene, the scene where Ian takes out Alan, straight from the book. But again, that scene is almost at the very end of the book. That scene does come quite a bit later after all of the jail Richard Brown events happen. Mm-hmm. Almost at the end of the book. So, it is what it is, but it's interesting, like, in all of this discussion, like, what are your thoughts about Ian killing him? More or less.
Same thing. I was like, what was that? Like, I don't know. I just,
and I mean,
it was very in cold blood. It was just like, I don't like you, and I thought that baby was mine, and I don't like you anyway. So bye, done. And it made no sense to me, even though you're saying it was in the book, and I don't really remember. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't know. It to me, I was like, everything made sense in the books though. And this is I'm not picking on anyone. I'm just saying, we've been through it a million times. It's very hard to get it all across in a television show in an hour. But the bottom line is, I never in the book, I don't think, was like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. But in this, I was like, geez, Ian, where the hell did you come from, first of all? And,
yeah, I agree with that. It made more sense because I feel like maybe in the book they got more into like, Ian wanted to marry her, and I feel like they did in the show a little bit, but maybe it just came a little more out of left field in the show.
It was just some girl he did and liked.
Yeah,
I hate to say it,
kind of, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it was also. Oh, I don't know. It didn't feel as out of left field in the books as it does here.
Yeah.
A little bit. But I will be curious to know, particularly the non-book readers, what did you think of that? Were you like, hell, Ian, what are you doing? Or were you like, oh, I totally get it. You're such a badass, Ian. I mean, the fact is, it's 1776, and maybe that's how justice is. Clearly, Alan killed her. Clearly, he needs to be held accountable.
Right.
Maybe that's how justice is served. I don't know.
Poldark might have done it too.
I know. And I have a feeling like, I wonder if Ian has killed in cold blood before.
Oh, hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? Did you see how easily that arrow, he knew right where to put it too. Oh, yeah. A man has killed and killed again. I
kept wondering, like, how close was he? Like, could he hear what Alan was saying?
Oh, they always do that on the show. I thought the same thing. I thought, where the hell did you come from? She didn't even see you. Like, what? Like,
I know. All right, so that's it with them. The Christie's done. We already buries Alan. Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
I was already at this point laughing and saying, yeah, let's just go bury our latest dead boy in the woods, because no one ever stumbles through the woods. They never walk around here. No one's going to see us. I was like, what the hell? Like, you're just out and I'm sorry, but it was too fresh with Claire having just gone through everything she went through, and now she's just going to go out here and bury a body in the woods? Like, what?
That was really weird. Well, I just thought it was hilarious because, well, first of all, okay, so, and in the books, I don't think we find out, like, again, that happens, and Ian says, yeah, no, he did need to die, or whatever he says. Mm-hmm. And that's the end of the chapter, and that's the last we hear of it. So we don't know the details of who buried him, and did Ian and Claire be like, was Claire like, all right, well, that's really great, Ian, but what now? Like, what do we do with this dead body here? Like, and I mean, it was a grave it was a graveyard. So why didn't they just bury him in the graveyard instead of in the woods?
If he was bad enough that you murdered him, why are you burying him? Just leave him there.
All right.
They don't have forensics that are going to be able to tell, like, who's Arrow. Like, just leave him there.
Oh, who's Arrow? Who's arrows?
Wait, say that again?
Who's Arrow? Like, there's one guy on the ridge that, like, has arrows. Who do you think it is? If you see a guy that's dead with an arrow sticking out of his back, who is the logical suspect there?
The Indians?
Indian!
Or the Indians?
I mean, I guess, but like...
And you could have broken it. Claire, the surgeon, could have broken it off really close to the body and then just shoved it in. So no one would have been the wiser. He just would have been dead.
I do think this video is going to be like 3 hours long because we're getting really into
but good, because at least it's not boring.
Because I kept thinking to myself, like, what major organs did it hit, that arrow?
Well, it was
Like,
funny
how
because I thought the same thing.
With an arrow to the back. Like, you swear we need to bring Keelan in to like be the medical expert.
I thought, because I was like, wait, did that get him in the heart? Like,
no.
I just said that a little while ago. I was like, Ian knew right where to put it. Like, it went in and he was out.
I mean, what are you hitting there? Like, okay,
I told you, if it goes far enough, it's going from the back through his heart.
Yeah, but did it go that far?
Of course it went that far.
I'm gonna watch it again and say, maybe, and because it was like right about here, so maybe. I don't know.
That is something around here that's very cool that people find all the time too, is arrowheads.
I want an arrowhead everywhere in New Jersey.
I want one so bad. I want one so bad.
Okay. Well, okay. So this burial business, yes, it was kind of weird. The first thing I noticed with this Claire's hair is easily 4 inches longer in the next scene. Easily 4 inches longer and straight. Like poker straight.
Her piece was straight. It might have been humid there, so her own hair curled up, but the piece did not.
And I mean, like, literally 15 minutes ago, she had perfect ringlets. I'm going to really try not to belabor this point, you guys.
Did you not see Twilight? We all know that during the baseball scene, they all wore hats because it was so incredibly rainy and humidity. You just never know what you're going to get. And do we not see eclipse when Bella's wigs were the worst thing and every scene was different?
I gotta tell you, this episode with Claire may have eclipsed that. Yeah. Oh my God. Again, I'm gonna belabor it a little bit, but like, okay, well, we'll get into it. But yeah, her hair is 4 inches longer and straight. So then the best part of that whole thing is, so Ian and Claire like digging the body. Where they got the shovels, I'll never know. But okay. But then Granny rolls up. Now, I feel like we know who that is. Like, is it old Grandma McNabb? Or it's not Mrs. Bug, is it?
I thought it was Mrs. Bug.
Is it Mrs. Bug?
I thought it was Mrs. Bug.
Maybe it's Mrs. Bug. Okay. I mean, it makes a little more sense. But they basically put her to work. She's like, yeah, all right, we're going to be here all day. And then we got another show for her.
And you're also not mentioning that Claire is out there lamenting and taking it all on herself. Like, I failed, sweet Malva. and Tom, and now Alan. I mean, really, Claire, once again, it's about you. The guy was abusing his kind of sister. It had nothing to do with you.
Well, it was his half sister. So it was it. I remember in the books too. Like, it's so annoying because like Malva is horrific in the books. She's just awful.
Yeah,
okay,
but you like her in the show.
You like her in the show, but like Claire, all through the books, is like, oh, my sweet Malva. Oh, Malva.
Yeah. Sweet Malva. Like, sweet Malva.
Claire. Oh, she tried to kill you. She tried to take your man.
Your manses. She tried to take your manses. How'd you like him admitting to that too? She's like, you told him. Was that how it happened? You told him told her to go up to Jamie, whatever. And he was like, yeah, came up with that myself. And he was like, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you.
Okay, so then we get our starting. And we see that the name is Happiest Place on Earth, as we know. And the Easter egg is it's like stock footage of Disneyland circa 1968-ish. Did you cry? Oh, as I'm like looking at with my glasses on. Okay.
I did not cry, but I thought of you crying. I mean, right after I got over kind of giggling and thinking about Prince in his 18th century puffy shirt garb, because Sinead O'Connor always makes me think of Prince because of Nothing Compares to You. Anyway, So then we see the Disneyland Happiest Place on Earth. And I'm like, oh, I was worried about you, Tracey. That's what I was worried about. I was like, I literally have cold open. Uh-oh, I hear Tracey crying. That is what I have written down.
I did get
very,
weepy.
very, very concerned about you.
I did get a little weepy. I did get a little weepy because, again, I know, what's coming. And, but it does indicate that Disney is going to have something to do with it. And perhaps the present day is going to have something to do with this episode as well.
And those shots were from back in there in Roger's time, and that's what made me think of you, because when are we talking here?
We're talking like no. By the time Bree and Roger go back, it's like 1970s,
late 70s.
At least, I think. At least, yeah.
And I can't see the cars. I'll have to look.
I would be curious to hear from non-book readers who haven't been spoiled or anything, what they thought of that. I mean, book readers know right away. Book readers know Happiest Place on Earth, and all they're doing is like, please say it, Jamie. Please say it, Jamie. Please say it, Jamie. Please say it, Jamie. But we'll get to that. But book readers or non-book readers, I don't know. I'm curious to know what you guys were thinking and where you thought we were all going with this. I wrote down everybody who knows is already sobbing at this point. One thing I do want to say is, as much as I liked the creepy, portion of the theme that they run over the Easter egg last week, which was Jamie sort of like walking around in slow motion, and they're looking for Claire, and it's a mystery, and it's like charades, and like this week it didn't work because everyone's all happy at Disneyland, and you're hearing
right. But think about ultimately what was coming, the impending doom. I mean, come on now, they were heading back. It's the impending doom.
Well, I guess.
Frankly, I'm one of those people who loves like either like dark comedy, or when they take something like the pretty like 1970s picture of Disneyland and they have Sinead going.
Like that's roughing it up.
Fight the real power. That was a terrible Irish accent. Oh my God. I just insulted our ancestors. What was the, I don't even know. But yes, fight the real power.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So when we open the real show, Bree is giving birth. And I wrote down finally. Has she been pregnant for 2 seasons at this point?
Oh, for the love of God, I didn't even notice she was at this point. Like, I forgot.
Like, I just keep remembering. And then later on, Claire, when they're talking about baby Mandy and her heart condition, Claire's like, yes, this happens particularly to babies who are born a little early. And I was like, Bree has been pregnant for like 12 months. This is early. Mandy's early.
Certainly feels like that.
They're like season 5. Like, whatever. Anyway.
Number one, I always like to pepper with the little things that, number one, we did not need the squishing noises. And number 2, the hell was Jamie doing in there?
Okay, yes. I have a lot to say about this. First of all, in my opinion, we didn't need the squishing noises.
Oh, they were too squishy.
Because that is all that indicated that someone was actually giving birth to something out of their vagina, out of their body.
Wasn't Claire like, okay, we're at the home stretch or something?
No, here's what it was like. Okay, push, Bree, push. Okay, here you go. Here's this baby.
Because it's just like that when you give birth.
I've never given birth, so maybe, I don't know. But I have watched Call the Midwife.
The second one really is. They shoot across the room. It's the first one you got to look out for.
But, like, am I wrong? Or is giving birth, like, rather messy?
Yeah, but I'm sorry. If I had to suspend disbelief with Claire and Ian and their shovels, you better believe I want to suspend disbelief with the squishy noises.
No, I'm sorry. So Bree's like, Bree's looking pretty realistic. I would have like had the like makeup girl in with a little more sweat, a little more glistening, maybe, but it's all good. I agree with you. What the hell I get when Jamie was there the last time because Roger was not. Remember that? And Bree was like, "No, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave."
Yeah.
This time around, like back in the day, like
no,
the men folk, like
no, and he would not have wanted to be there.
The husband in the same room. What happens if you see her downstairs department shaky?
I am sorry. What the hell was Jamie doing in that room?
Well, Roger too.
Well, Roger's the husband. I mean, Claire, they're all from this time. Now, I don't know when men started going in. I know when I was born in the 80s. I know when I was born a while ago, Dad was not in that room.
No.
So I don't know when that
who else
started.
didn't get to go up there is this one, or third sister Jill.
Yeah.
We had to stay in the lobby.
Yeah, I don't know when that
on Christmas
started.
morning.
I don't know when that. She's making fun of me because my birthday's Christmas Eve.
Oh, it's the worst, you guys. Try being 5 and 4, and it's Christmas morning, and your dad's like, look at everything Santa brought you, girl. Isn't it nice? Okay, let's go to the hospital for all day.
God.
Oh, and by the by, you can't go up to your mother's room. You have to stay in the lobby with grandma.
You are still holding this grudge. Now I figured it out. That is why you are holding this grudge. Wait, what were we just? I don't even remember.
No, Bree and the like. Oh, clearly immaculate. What was he doing there? Immaculate conception is when you don't have sex to get pregnant. What do you call it when you don't make a mess to give birth? Oh my immaculate. What?
Immaculate non-mess. But I literally have. And did Jamie need to be there? Can you imagine Dad in the room while I was having a baby? Oh my God!
I mean, okay. I think Jamie is a special case. Jamie was there for the first baby, whatever. But yeah, I think at that time, like Claire would be there. Claire would be like birthing the baby. You'd have Mrs. Bug there. Where's the whole brother? There was I laughed. This was the funniest thing. Like there's a glistening white towel folded next to Claire as she's like. And by the way, this is all happening in a chair. And not a birthing chair, like the kitchen table chair.
I did not like that approach. I did not appreciate it. And the all fours didn't work for me either.
You'd think like Bree would be like sort of like slumped down a little bit, like, with her. No, she's sitting up like this. Like, I'd be like, Claire's like, okay, you're giving birth in the seat of the chair. Okay, but anyway, there's a white...
Again, it's like preference. I mean, whatever works for you, works for you. Yes. I don't give a rat's ass. People do it all over the place, and good for you. So I couldn't care less where she was. I just didn't understand. Jamie was like back here chit-chatting. Like, I just was like, I don't know. I personally, I didn't care for it. If somebody else does, great. If your dad was in that room and you had your baby, good for you. You would not have wanted Randy. That is all I have to say. That is all. Can you imagine Randy? Let me tell you something. With my first, I was in active labor pushing for 3 hours and there was a problem and they had to get the vacuum. And I know that's a little too much, but I'm telling you. Can you imagine Randy? Oh, I'll tell you what's wrong with these hospitals today.
Oh my God, your dad in the delivery room.
Oh, he would be like, they're going to charge you $10 for a Q-tip. I do not want Randy. Maybe I would have wanted Jamie, but I did not want Randy.
I mean, the only thing, like I said, Bree did specifically request him, the last time when she had Jenny. But that's because Roger wasn't there. Roger's there now. So yeah, Jamie's got to go wait with the other dudes. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it's just really, it was bizarre. But like, again, I have watched way too much Call the Midwife. I feel, and I don't think I'm underestimating this to say that in an emergency, if it was a super duper emergency, I think I could deliver a baby. And that's because I've watched 12 seasons of Call the Midwife.
I really...
Where there is an average 2 births per episode. Okay? I know about get push and that baby's head's out and you gotta suction shit out of the baby. Where was the suction? Okay. And then you push and the shoulders come out. And then you gotta cut the cord. And you gotta wipe off all the goo that comes off the baby, whatever. And then maybe you hand the baby to the mother, wrapped up, and the baby's still full of goo because you're not gonna get all that shit off the baby until you go give the baby a bath or wash it off. This baby that they handed Bree was as spotless as this bottle. Claire is wearing a white apron, not a spot on it. I don't know what she used to cut the cord. Maybe she used the teeth, and she used her teeth, and we weren't looking.
Ew.
Nothing down there. This white towel just sitting there, not touched. You guys are gonna yell at me. I'm sure you're gonna yell at me, but I'm sorry. That stuff really bugged me. It really bugged me because it's not. I kept being why didn't they do it? Did they not want to make a mess? Did they think it was not romantic? Did they, I don't know. I don't understand. And again, I watch Call the Midwife all the time. Maybe that's why, but I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. This is what I wrote down. This is the cleanest birth scene ever put on film. Oh my God. Hasn't anyone ever watched Call the Midwife? It's distracting. Claire pulls out a spotless doll and hands it to her. Oh, and when did they cut the cord? There's literally a folded clean towel right next to the proceedings. And oh my God, Bree is wearing a white nightgown and Claire has a white apron and they're both spotless. I mean, it was distracting to me. It was distracting.
It really would have been maybe better if it was that typical scene where you maybe Jamie was outside and on the porch looking all pensive, and then all of a sudden, and then, yeah.
And then Roger popped out
Gentlemen, it's a girl! Yeah!
You got a wee daughter.
100%. That's a good way to do it. That's actually a really good way to do it. Because,
why waste time on that scene? I don't know.
Yeah, if you don't want to be realistic, or you don't want to spend the money, or I'm sure it's a pain in the ass to film it with all the blood and guts and whatever. But for me, it was super distracting. There you go. It was I have actually been in a play where I've had to give birth on stage, but obviously in a play, you're not going to do the same kind of thing. So it's sort of representational in that way. That's what it felt like to me. It was representational. It wasn't real.
You're not even touching on, I think it's called the meconium, when they poop in there. That comes out too.
Wait, what did I see where there was poop in the poop in the sack or something? I don't even know. No, but I'm telling you, I've never had a baby, but I know it's a big mess. I know it caused a big mess.
Well, no, because the lovely nurses at the hospital come over every 5 seconds and just switch out that. They're so good at it. They just come over and go, "Is that Big Bird?" And it's under you. You're like, "Wow, I feel so fresh."
All right. I don't want to belabor it.
Yeah.
Nice. Fuego tonight. On fuego. Okay.
That was
good. Thank you. And I don't even I guess Claire's wig was okay. Oh no, I think she had something on her head.
I don't really remember that.
I don't know. Whatever. It just was really distracting. But in any case, baby Amanda is here. She's cute as a bug's ear. And
did they ever think about what they were going to name her? They were like,
yeah, they did. They had, yeah.
No, my whole point is that, she comes out and he's like, "What about, oh, okay, I like that." That was just it.
No, they had a name all planned because Bree says it. I don't remember what it is. It's well, it's after your mother, right? And Roger's like, "No, it's Amanda." And Bree's like, "Huh? No, we decided, Roger. What are you doing? Changing it up at this?" Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So she's super cute, whatever. Everyone loves her, whatever. All good. And so then we see Lizzie, who is also pregnant herself, reading about the birth. So they put the birth in the paper, they announced it in the paper. It's very nice. I just wrote down another scene, another Claire wig, because I think maybe this scene, I don't even remember anymore. I know there was the long burying Alan wig. There was the totally cute, curly, stopping Alan from shooting himself wig. There was the short wig from the previous episode. And maybe those are the only three in this episode. And that's all I'm going to say on it, because it was just distracting AF. And I mean, it was really bad. It was really bad, this episode. Maybe it was because they knew it was going to be so sad, this episode, that they're just like, we have to have emotions other than sad. Get Claire the bad wigs.
Go back onto the Twilight set. Get her the Eclipse wig.
Okay, so they're like, okay, where's the baby? Like, and they're like, oh, Jamie has the baby.
Before you got there, though, I was a little bit questioning the I know Fergus put the announcement in the paper, and they were all very like, oh, that was nice of Fergus to do that. But of course, I have a hard time with the history of it, because I'm like, I'm like the genealogy dork who spends a lot of time on Ancestry and newspapers.com and MyHeritage. And I'm like, I don't think they would have really said all of that. And I don't think they would have named her. It's always Mr. and Mrs. whoever. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then I'm like, Carol, you're just picking on them. Just leave it alone. And it's Fergus. So maybe Fergus put in extra stuff for her, whatever.
Are you saying because I remember that they were like, Roger McKenzie and his lady,
yes,
Brianna.
Yeah, I was like, what? But anyway, yes, and the Jamie, Jamie in the barn.
My God,
Jamie was the bairn in the barn.
The bairn in the barn, and the world's collective ovaries just explode because.
Yeah. Yep. The cherry on the top of that ice cream sundae would be him emptying a dishwasher somewhere.
Oh my God. So just the cutest scene. I couldn't even tell you one line they said. He just said a whole lot of gibberish. Is it my imagination, or is Jamie using Gaelic terms of endearment much more this season? I know he was calling the baby blah 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 Gaelic, cutie pie or whatever in Gaelic.
I don't know.
But I feel like he is, though.
I have noticed put it this way. I don't know if it's more, but I have noticed it when he's been doing it. But all I know is I have a picture of it, and I have cute. Always makes me think of the cave and all that he has suffered, because, they didn't get to raise Bree together. So I just love it every time there's a new baby and Jamie gets to be granda.
Right. Okay. So moving on, Claire's having a little cute moment with Mandy, and she's like, "This is the surgery. This is what this does. This is what that does. This is what this does. This is what that does." And she's super cute, but she notices, she looks down at Mandy's her little hands, and there's just a little bit of blue on them. And she's like, what's this about?
Oh.
And she's so cute with that baby. She's like, "Oh, darling, let me just listen to your little heart." Da, 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 da. So she does. And, basically she's like, oh, F.
Yeah.
And Bree's there. Bree's just standing there.
Oh, that killed me. Bree heard her literally talking to herself.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was heartbreaking to watch Bree and watch her have to tell Bree. Bree's like, what? And she's got to tell her. And I like the way they did it, because they really had Claire pause, and the pause went on too long, because of course it would. I have to tell her. But, if Bree didn't come along at that moment, she probably would have, waited and told her at the right time. But Bree was there, and she had to do it. And I thought it was amazing acting.
The whole thing. It was a great. It was a great season.
Yeah,
great season. It was a great. The whole thing. Great scene for everybody. So Mandy has a heart condition, a heart defect, whatever you want to call it. That is very easily fixed surgery in our time. but not so easily done in, the time of 1776. Claire is not a heart surgeon. She's whatever they say on Star Trek. She's not. Well, she is a doctor. I'm not a surgeon, Jim. I'm a doctor. But she says that's what the meaningful thing is. She's like, well, I can't fix it, but I know someone who can. And we all know what that means. We all know what that means. I know someone who can 200 years from now.
Get your ass over to the stones.
Yeah. So everybody's talking about, so Bree and Roger there, they're like, can Mandy travel? Well, they don't know. Roger's, Bree's like, all right, well, you should stay here with Jem and I'll go back with Mandy. And, and Roger's like, no. And Bree's like, well, you have to, finish your minister training and take your exams on whatever. And Roger's like, no, we're staying. We're together.
That didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
What, that she would say, you guys stay here?
There was just, no, I mean, I could see her, well, there was just disconnect to me because I'm like, wait, what? He can't do his training, like, in the 20th century. And on the one hand, if you're going to say, okay, you stay here, I'll take her, it seems like a foregone conclusion that she's planning on coming back. But then they decide to all go together and they're never going to see them again. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was a little bit, not confusing, but it didn't 100% fit. It didn't 100% jive.
I don't know. I think they were just so shell-shocked they didn't know what to think. I mean, I don't think that Roger could finish his studies. Like, it's like, they'll be like in, 1970 or 80 or whatever, like, okay, and where are your transcripts? Well.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So, but I mean, and then that wouldn't, point being that that's not like anything that's going to stop him from saving his daughter's life. There's just nothing. And yeah, I mean, like, I feel like Bree, like, didn't really, not like she didn't mean that. She just didn't know what to say. Like, she was just thinking, like, off the top of her head, she was just like, maybe we should do this, maybe whatever. But yes, so they're gonna go back,
and I love that he's always the voice of reason. No matter what it is, Roger is always, no, we not no like that, but can't do that. But we're gonna. He's always the voice of reason about everything. I love it.
Yeah. So at the same time, you see Jamie and Claire, and they're talking, and I loved the scene because I loved like Claire. I love Claire, like getting like going to that place of of when she's like doing something medically, and it's like almost like a Zen place for her. She's like, well, maybe I could do it. Like I did a rotation, I did a cardiac rotation, and then you see her like, go to that place. Like you put the hand, I can feel for this, I could do that, I could feel it, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. But it's not really realistic, and I think she knows that.
And she does, and I had to laugh because I had an epiphany at this point, which was I felt kind of guilty. She's going through that whole thing, and my daughter is a third-year pre-med, and she wants surgery. And I help her.
She wants to do surgery. She doesn't. We want surgery.
Yeah.
She wants to do surgery.
She wants to be a surgeon. She doesn't even, I don't know that she cares about some people are like, I want to be a doctor. She just wants to be a surgeon. She wants to get in there and do what Claire does. But I had to laugh because I thought, oh my God, listening to Claire do that, because my daughter does that as well, especially when she's studying and blah, 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 and she's saying stuff I don't even know what it means. But I had to laugh because I'm like, oh my God. Because first I thought, yeah, and Claire can't light a stove, but she can. I'm back to season 2? And I thought, oh my God. She called me, Keelan called me this year, first year in an apartment at college, and said, Mom, I made an egg. She literally never really cooked before she had to. And I thought, I stand corrected because I was abusing Claire so much. Like, the woman's a surgeon and she can't light a stove. But I was like, wow, it's that type of brain. They're so in there about science, but yet some easier things are not easy. Continue.
So Jamie's like, okay, yeah, that's not, but I don't think that's gonna work, but there is one thing we can do. The big Bible he was holding sort of gave it away, the one thing that he could do.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing that was a big Bible that he was holding. And that was nice. You don't often see religious Jamie. And you have to be reminded that Jamie is a really religious guy.
Yeah, he is.
And Claire, maybe not as much so. And that was pretty clear. Like, she's like, oh,
at all.
Okay. I would have liked to have seen Jamie with his rosary and do it in French, because that's, Outlander, they make a point, like, anytime Jamie says the rosary, is it the rosary or the act of contrition? No, he always says the act of contrition in French, for whatever reason. But Jamie's a big rosary guy. I think anybody, like, born, before 1930 is kind of a rosary person.
Grandma Irene, they found the rosary on the floor.
Oh, yeah? So, in any case, like, I thought that was kind of nice, just, like, seeing that part of Jamie that we really don't get a chance to see. And especially after the last episode where you see so much violence in him,
right.
Like, you see all these things. This is all part of Jamie, know?
Right.
Jamie's a complex guy. It's not simple, Carol. It's hard to figure out that Jamie. Okay?
You guys, sorry I'm doing this, but, like, I have to laugh that, like, Tracey and I have been doing this now for, like, 12, 13 years? I don't know. But back then I didn't have to stop and stretch my legs because they hurt. I'm like, oh, my joints, my hips are killing me. I got to stretch my legs.
That's why I have 3 pillows on this chair. Okay, so... Oh, wait, I passed something. Hold on. All right, Mandy and Jemmy. Okay, so they're having a little scene with everybody on the porch. That Mandy is so cute, and that Jemmy. I mean, slow golf clap for the Outlander casting people, because... And it's the same kid. I don't think they recast this kid. I think it's the same kid from last season. He is so cute. The only thing, and I know I said this last season too, he rocks a Scottish accent that is not to be believed. And I mean, I guess it makes sense because pretty much everybody but Bree around him sort of has a Scottish accent, so maybe he would get one as well. But you always kind of forget, like, that they're, that they're not in Scotland. So whatever, you kind of expect him, and plus Bree's his mother, so you kind of expect him to not have an accent, but whatever. But he's super cute, that little actor. So they have a stone from somewhere, and they're like, Gem, can you hear this? Because they don't know. Can Mandy hear it? Can she? We don't even know if she can travel. Like, who knows? And they're like, Gem, can you hear this? And he's like, yeah, it's singing. Oh, and she can hear it too. And they're like, really? Like,
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, she told me.
So cool.
That is some wackadoo shit, you guys. And
shit out here.
That's a wackadoo shit. So Gem and Mandy, they got the gift. They got the gift. Send those two right off to Hogwarts because they are clearly not muggles. Okay. So, well, we only have one stone. Gem, gotta get some more. So off we go to Wilmington. And they all split up. They all have their things to do. Bree's got her little basket. She's coming out of some store. Oh, who's over there? Why, it's Lord John and somebody that looks just like one James Alexander Malcolm Mackenzie Grace.
Oh, God. And I have questions around here, but it was
I do too.
Awesome.
I do too. I don't even know where to start, you guys. I don't even know where to start about
Start with Bree, because what?
Okay. Does Bree know about William's existence and who he is?
I was confused AF because in the books, I don't believe she did. They were hiding. Ian was hiding it from her as much as... Because didn't Ian know too? And
well, we're gonna get to the 5 who knew. We're gonna get there. I mean, should we go
hid
there
it
now?
from her as much as they hid it from William.
So wait, Ian, I don't know, because I was trying to like pinpoint the 5, and I don't know that anybody ever. So okay, remember when Lord John and like little like bratty William came to visit a couple seasons ago?
Yeah,
I feel like Ian figured it out, but like maybe didn't really say anything to anybody. So maybe like Lord John doesn't know that Ian knows, but Ian pretty much knows and has never said anything to Uncle Jamie or whatever. In the books, Brianna does not know, because Brianna goes into it like, what the is this that I'm looking at right now?
Who dat?
Who dat? And she walks over and she's like, hub, hubba. And Roger is with her, and Roger is equally like, hubba, hubba, hubba. And then the first thing, because I read this whole thing again, because I was like, I don't really remember. The first thing out of Bree's mouth, Bree or Roger, I forgot which one, when William leaves, is like, does Mama know?
Because he looks
Jamie
exactly
know?
like him.
Yes.
And
So-
I'll tell you what, his left profile, once or twice,
do we want to
I
go
was
there?
like, oh my God, it was so weird, because sometimes he doesn't look like him at all, but other times that I saw that profile and I was like, he looks
I was like, holy shit, what casting is this?
Right.
Oh my God.
What casting sorcery is this?
What casting sorcery is this? Because Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ, indeed. My God, he is the picture of Jamie. And I mean, like exactly like you said, he's the picture of Jamie. But like, maybe you look at him like this way and he's kind of not a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God. What casting? Oh my God, crazy. Charles Vandervaart is his name. He's Canadian, not a Brit, not an American. But I want to talk more about Bree and this, because I can't remember if Bree. I think you guys have to help us out here, because Carol, do you remember specifically if Bree knows or doesn't know?
Never. I don't remember. She definitely didn't know in the books, and I don't remember in the show her finding out. And I always second guess myself, because I could be wrong, but I don't know. Maybe
Let's put it this way. It was played like she knew.
Oh,
in
she
my
knew.
opinion.
She absolutely knew. They just didn't want to go there. They didn't want to go there with her not knowing. They probably couldn't work it in. And they just said, you know what? Let's make her know.
But that's okay. See, this is the thing. If she had to have been, there has to be canon there. There has to be like historical reference that she found out some way, shape, or form. And I feel like maybe she did. I just don't remember. But if I'm told that she never found out in the show and they played it like this, I'd be really pissed, because they played it. I mean, it was almost, I don't say it was for laughs, because it really wasn't, but they clearly played it like she knew, because she's like, Jesus, they trolled Roosevelt Christ. But then, she goes up and she's talking to them, and she's like, when he's like, when he says like, oh, have we met before? You look familiar. Like in the books, she's like, oh no, and in the show, she's like, no, we've never met. Like,
oh no, she knows.
The whole thing is wink, wink, nudge, nudge, to the point that when William leaves, she's like, oh, so that's right. No, she has to know.
No, she knows.
Has to know. Please,
because she's kind of lecturing him on the fact that, although I loved her story, I thought she did it in a really great way, that she thought he should tell him. She said, does Da know? You going to tell Da? Or whatever she said.
So tell us in the comments if in the TV version Bree knows or was told at some point. Because if she doesn't know, this whole thing was just really wackadoo, in my opinion. But if she does know, it was funny. What else do we have here? Yeah, have we met before, Mistress Mackenzie? Like, only when you look in the mirror, William, have you met before, because you guys are like the same.
I would like to know, and to the point where I would like to take a poll, who likes William and who doesn't? Because I know some people can't stand him. I can't help it. I love him. I love William. I know he's a pain in the ass. I know he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. I know he's clueless. I just love William. Love him. And I just want to know who else does too.
I already can tell, I love TV William about 1 billion times more than Book William. Book William, I can't stand. I think he's a little brat.
I think he's cute, but I gotta tell you guys, I also want to know what people thought of Lord John in that scene, because I felt like Lord John needed to get off his high horse. Like, he was so like, she's like, oh, the 9th Earl of Ellesmere? And he was, whatever he said, like, are you kidding me? Like, we have done.
Well, no, that was when she was like, yeah, you should tell Doc. And it wasn't oh no, I'm sorry. It was, you should tell William about Jamie, that Jamie is his real father. I don't believe John. John is totally right. 100%.
He's right, but I just think he's such a snooty. I love him. Don't get me wrong, that's Lord John, but he was so like, bleh, 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 bleh. And I liked that Bree told him the story about her father in such a nice way. And just to say, like, listen, I didn't love my father any less, but she's not understanding the ramifications of that.
Right.
He's the 9th Earl of Ellesmere. That's a lot bigger than you're making it sound right now.
Right. And I mean, maybe Lord John is a little concerned because, like, he's seen Bree and he's seen that she can, like, be very spontaneous, and like she might think nothing of like going to William and being like, oh yeah, I'm your sister. Hi. Like it's a lot at stake for him. So I didn't have a problem with how he handled it.
I did not have a problem, but he's just so damn snooty, and sometimes it gets under my skin. But how about the exchange between Lord John and Jamie?
Well, wait. Well, can we talk about first the little look when
That's
Jamie
what I'm
comes
talking
upon,
about.
I thought you meant later. I thought you were jumping ahead to later.
When he was across the way, I watched it twice. I had to rewind because I was like, I need to see that again. It was perfection.
Oh my God.
Perfection.
Oh my God. I mean, just part of you just want them to like go off and like, have a wonderful life together.
That's not what I took out of that.
No, what do you have to like be like that? It was just like be Jamie and Sean.
Humans who have such strong feelings for each other.
Yes.
And this is a major, major thing that there is my son. I mean, when was the last time Jamie saw William?
Right.
And he looks across and he's wearing the red coat. And it must have been so many emotions. I wish they had touched on that. Like, Jamie looks across and he is like, and as we know in the next scene, which we'll discuss, he cannot go back there. He will not go back there. He will not fight for the British. And he looks across and his own flesh and blood is wearing the red coat. And is with Lord John, who's raised him. The emotions must have been insane.
Well, like, I didn't get at that as much. I got it more like Jamie hasn't seen William. I mean, I don't think Lord John is like sending him pictures or anything, like, or
he's a man now.
Or whatever. He's a man now. The last time Jamie saw him was when he was like 9 years old.
Right.
And he's a man now, and he looks just like Jamie. Like there's so many levels to that look. Of Jamie is like, oh my God,
right.
And oh my God, because there's William. Oh my God, Bree is meeting William, which is, another reason why I'm like, does Bree know about this? Does she not know about this?
Jamie didn't even touch on that.
I know, but like all these levels, and Lord John's just like I got you.
Cool.
I got you, bro. I got you.
And Jamie was the same way. Like, Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
I'm going to go on my way because, just amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, the little exchange with him and Lord John. Oh,
for
God.
those of you who
I
did
wish
not
I knew
read
how to quit both of them.
what?
They're just, I said, I wish I knew how to quit both of them because they're just so good together.
For those
like,
of you who have not read the books, you just had a taste of the books. I mean, holy cow, they have beautifully touched on their relationship, and it's equal in not appreciation for each other, but in admiration for each other and feelings. It is completely unequal in Lord John feels
desire
romantically, yes, and Jamie just like is so thankful that Lord John is on this earth, and just because he would feel that anyway. They've been through so much, but he's raising his son, and oh my God, it's so good, so good.
Okay, here's a thing I'm going to throw out here. Yes or no?
Oh boy.
The relationship between Jamie and Lord John is the most interesting relationship on the show.
I could get down with that. I could be down with that, yeah. Because it is. It makes you sit up and pay attention. I mean, honest to God, up until then, I was like going with and then this happens, and you're like, it makes you uncomfortable in a way.
Right.
It makes you so comfortable and uncomfortable at the same time.
It's maybe where I really mean to go with this is like the relationship between Jamie, Claire, and Lord John as a triangle is by far the most interesting thing on the show.
I don't really think we're there though. Like I don't really see Claire as involved in
because I think like in some ways you can't talk about Lord John and Jamie without talking about Claire, because Claire is always going to be the elephant in the room.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
You know, she's always going to be. I mean, like, you know, the real elephant in the room. Sorry, Lord John, is that Jamie isn't gay.
Yeah, so, I was just going to say that. Like, she's the elephant in the room for Lord John, but not Jamie.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe because does Jamie like really like has he and Claire ever really talked about Lord John and like how like I feel like Lord John makes her feel insecure. Like, you know, Lord John has a history with Jamie that she will never know.
Well, I don't think anything makes Claire, Beecham, Randall, Fraser feel insecure. But I do think what?
I said I do, but go on.
I don't think Lord John makes her insecure. I think I think insecure is the word that I'm against. I think it's definitely gotta be difficult for Claire, just like Frank is difficult for Jamie. I mean, not just because they had a romantic relationship, but it's gotta be difficult for Claire that this person knows things that went on with Jamie that I wasn't there for. I can't even touch on. I can't.
Right. Even more than anybody, more than Leary, who he was married to.
Right.
More than, you know, maybe more than Jenny. I mean, maybe. You know, I feel like Jamie
I'm never going to say more than Jenny. I'm going to say different. And Claire will never be able to get near that ever.
I think that Jamie showed Lord John parts of his soul that he didn't necessarily show Jenny. I mean, the relationships are, maybe it's just a bad comparison because the relationships are so different. But like, I bet you that there are things about Jamie that Lord John knows that Claire does not. I bet you there are.
I mean, yes, but that's more of like, you know, male, like the prison stuff, and I'm not going to say locker room talk. Just, you know what I mean? There's stuff that there's stuff that Tom Christie knew about Jamie that Claire was never going to know, because Jamie's he's a gentleman, and he's not going to tell Claire
Yeah, but it's
everything that
different.
went
It's like
on.
stuff in his soul, like whatever. I mean, like just, and it might not be not because Jamie's like, oh, I don't want Claire to know that. Just like it never came
Right.
up, you know?
Exactly. He would share it with Claire, but it's just
Right.
if it's not about Claire, it ain't there.
Yeah. I mean, they're just. I do. I wish I knew how to quit them. Like they're so
Right.
good together.
Love them. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
And we have a whole scene with them still to come. Like, all right, let's get through this one. I just want to say one more thing about the scene, which was, and it's a compliment to Sophie. Like, do you ever notice, like, when Claire is stressed, she does this, like, folded over thing with her arm. Like, she's constant, like talks like this a little, like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Bree, man, he's going to die. And Bree does the same thing. Walks around like this.
Really?
When she's, mm-hmm.
I haven't, but I'll look for that now.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Because that's some kind of body coach telling them to do that. Telling her to do that, like Claire.
Okay, really quickly. So Lord John says that 5 people knew about William's true parentage. And that 2 of them are already in the graves.
To Bree.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Who are those 5 people, and do you think it's more?
I mean, what's her name? Geneva?
Geneva.
Geneva's like gross old uber wealthy husband.
So okay.
Oh no. Yeah, him. 5 people. The 2 of them are the dead ones.
You're leaving out somebody really important.
Well, then Lord John left out someone really important.
No, he didn't know. He didn't say names. He just said 2 dead, 3 living.
Right, but if you're telling me there's another dead, then there's 3 dead. Because Geneva and the 8th Earl of Ellesmere.
Okay, here's where I went with that. And I did say 8th Earl of I said 8th Lord of Ellesmere. Geneva's sister that Lord John married.
His wife.
Yes.
Where's she?
Yes. Those are the 2 definite. Those are the 2 who I think he was thinking of. But to your point, I absolutely counted the 8th Lord of Ellesmere. Because he, like, okay, maybe the reason he doesn't get counted is that he didn't think that he was the father of the baby,
right.
but didn't point at Jamie as being the father of the baby.
Am I?
And Lord John is talking about people who knew. I think people who knew the secret. Not only that Lord John is not his biological father, but that Jamie is the biological father.
And then the other ones would be Jamie, Claire, and Bree.
Jamie, I have on my list. So, okay. Dead, I had Geneva and Isabel. That's the sister.
I was going to say, Isabel, that's what I've been wanting to say, is Isabel's dead by now. She died already.
Yes. Okay. So, Geneva and Isabel. I said Murtaugh. Did Murtaugh? I think Murtaugh knew. I 100%. But maybe Lord John doesn't know that Murtaugh knew.
I don't know, but I know we have a lot to get to, so I don't think we have time to talk about Murtaugh.
Well, I do. I want to talk it through just a little bit. Living, Lord John, Jamie, Claire, Ian. As we said, maybe Ian doesn't really know, or Lord John doesn't know he knows.
I think Ian knew in the books because he was helping them hide it from Bree.
So does that mean, and he's not counting Bree as someone who knows? Maybe Bree. This is making me think Bree didn't know, or he certainly doesn't know she knew.
She did not play this like someone who didn't know until that moment.
And if that's the case, if she was supposed to not have known it's not good.
Creep.
It's not good.
Creep.
Okay.
Creep.
All right. So
it would be creep. It would be creepy.
Yeah, no, because she really played it like
yeah. Which, I'm sorry, but weren't you like, I was like, girl, isn't your daughter dying? Like, she just seemed a little too jovial to me. Like, I was like, aren't we all here because your baby is dying and you have to leave your mother and father? And
well, I mean, I'm not going to falter for that. Like when she basically sees somebody else who looks just like her father and like by extension her, and she's like, what? Like,
well,
no, I get it.
I chalked it up to our family, and Lord knows we've laughed through a bunch of
I know.
stuff.
I know. All right. So yeah, and to your point, I do agree that Bree's story about Frank was very nice. It was a nice memo, whatever. Okay. All right. We've discussed that to death. So let's move on. So now we probably don't need to discuss too much of this. So Jamie goes to see Lord John.
Who offers him refreshment.
Well, but isn't it like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like Lord John opens the door to let Jamie in. There's like this big, fluffy, comfy bed right in the center of the room.
I picked up on this too. I'm sorry, but I was like, okay, now we have the Hollywood, the wishful thinking of Hollywood.
And Lord John.
Like this whole scene, the two of them, even Jamie, like the two of them, I was like, anything could happen right now, and even I wouldn't be shocked. And I've read all these books. Honest to God, I was like, oh, for God's sake, Hollywood, really? Like, come on. Yes.
Oh my God.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, I was just like,
you know what I think they should do? Get it out of their system and have a scene that's a daydream in Lord John's mind, where the two of them are getting it on. There you go. There you go. If this was a K-drama that would be happening, they would totally, and you'd be like, oh my God. And then it would be a dream. That's how it would happen.
Okay. Who would like
somebody
to see
would
that?
have fallen asleep on a bus, and that's what they'd be dreaming.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was really hard to ignore that, the big bed in the center of the room and the fact that LJ wanted Jamie in it. Yes, you could cut it with a knife. Jamie, I liked this subject. Jamie says he's glad he got a chance to see William. He's a picture in my mind always. And that was just lovely. That was just really nice.
Right.
That he didn't care that, he didn't talk to him or whatever. He's just like, I'll always remember this.
Right.
So they're going to be on a break because, they're on different sides of this war.
It's killed me.
I know. Lord John gives Jamie back his jewel. It gives Jamie back the ring. But except it's not really a ring, it's a jewel.
Do you want to laugh? Do you want to laugh? So I'm like, oh my God, it's bad enough that I don't remember Bree knowing that this was going on, but I'm like, now Lord John knows they have to go back through the stones. And then I'm like, no, wait a minute, no.
I don't really remember Jamie giving him that stone, but Lord John should just wear it on a t-shirt. Jamie, I love you.
I love you. Oh
Jamie, I wish I knew how to quote you. And I just have David Barry is so effing good. He's so good.
He's wrong good.
He's so good. He loves Jamie so much.
I still don't understand why I'm seeing him, but I'm thrilled that I am because of the announcement that he was never coming back. So I don't know.
Now maybe that means that I don't know if there was a non-announcement for Marcelly and Fergus, but hopefully there will be a non-announcement for them so they can come back too. Because it was really weird that we never saw him. We never saw him last week in Newburn. Don't you think that if somebody took Claire and Jamie is in Newburn and he needs help, hi, ring, ring, hi, Fergus, get over here now. But whatever.
Are we ever going to see them again?
I hope so. I don't know.
Me too.
I don't know. Okay. So they're back and Bree and Jamie go for a walk.
Oh, I love this.
I know. I do have to ask though, what kind of killer fireflies do they have for fireflies? Do they have in North Carolina or
they
wherever
do?
The hell they
are? Really do. You know what they're called? CGI fireflies.
CGI-erflies.
Exactly. You guys, have you ever seen fireflies that were that giant and flickering?
I mean, is that what seriously, is there another kind of bug down there that we don't know about? I get it, but it was really weird, you guys. It was really distracting.
Well, you got to come up with the fireflies. It's a big deal. And you know what, Tracey? They were trying to make us happy. Let's be honest with the fireflies. They were trying to make us happy So they did the CGI fireflies, and they didn't work 100%.
I was
but that's
just
okay.
like,
We
it was
appreciate
weird. It was weird. It was weird. But so this is where they tell the story about where Bree tells. I loved, other than the weird fireflies, I loved everything about this scene. Everything
Loved
about
it, except for once again, Bree was very like, oh. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I would be rocking back and forth and sucking my thumb if my baby daughter was so sick I had to go back through the stones.
You wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You would be, yes, you would be like, it would be always in the back of your mind, but you'd be still living your life and getting stuff done and whatever, and talking to your da, who you're going to be leaving, which is almost as traumatic as.
True. Good point. Very good point. Almost I can get on board with the almost as traumatic.
Right. So telling the story about Disneyland, and then the whole thing of like, what would it be like if Jamie went forward? Because that's everybody's fantasy, guys. Everybody's fantasy. You read these books, you watch the show, you're like, okay, I know that Jamie can't travel, but if he could, what would it be like?
And they touched
we've all had those fantasies. We've all had those fantasies in life.
Oh, I want to know from you guys in the comments, what have you over the years thought that you would like to see Jamie learning about from the future? My thing was always tanning salons. I always thought it would be funny as hell if Jamie Fraser was like, they go in there to get tan? Like what?
I just think that Jamie would be on the ground in 2023 and see this.
Yeah.
And be like, everybody like looking at the wee box, and they're touching the wee box, and pictures come out of the wee box and whatever. Like that would freak him out. But I just love the whole scene, and the whole like Mickey Mouse, and like they let the wee parents play with the giant rat. All of that, you guys, straight from the book.
It was done really well, yeah.
Straight from the book. Lovely scene. So then we get to Claire and Jamie, and Jamie's telling Claire about dreams that he's had about her in her time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He knows what lights are like because he's seen them in his dreams.
Right.
And she's like, how do you dream about stuff that you don't never seen? And he's like,
right.
You don't do that? Like, I dream about stuff all the time.
Well, did you notice that he said it's only started in the past, like, few years?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, because I was thinking, was this happening when he was laying on the floor, like, trying to sleep in the prison when Claire was gone? And then I'm like, oh, no, he said it was just over the past few years. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it has something to do with Jemmy being born. Because we already know that Jemmy and Mandy clearly have, like, some sort of wacko connection.
Yeah,
and maybe Jamie's in on that.
I don't know. I do
not
know, but Diana says Jamie will never, ever, 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 ever go to the future.
Well, yeah, no, that won't happen. But also, Jem and Mandy, by extension, have never seen the future. So they don't know either. So
True.
I don't know. I do not know. Maybe it's Maybe it's when his daughter came back, and now he's kind of like her memories are sort of like impacting his dreams.
That's a good point. Good point.
Maybe.
I agree. I understand that. I believe in that connections. I believe in it.
Right. So then they're starting talking, and Jamie like reaches over to the bedside table and pulls something out, and it's a gemstone. It's like, we're saving this one. So really, they finally got all the gemstones they needed, but really Jamie had another one all along. But no, this one is for Claire. If something happens to him, that she can go back, or maybe she wants to go back now with them. And Claire's like, let me just have this for a little bit here, like la 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 la, and she throws it out the window, basically saying like, I'm not going back.
I thought that was a little extreme, but there
were a couple things.
I think throwing it back in the drawer would have sufficed, but whatever.
There's a couple of things with this scene. I think she does do that I think this scene is in the books. This scene is in the books, but it's not here. it's at home. And like, this is the dumbest detail ever. And you guys are going to be like, Tracey, you need to let it go. But it's details like this that sometimes bug me. I'm like, they're not home. They're away. They're at like, they're in Wilmington, whatever. They're at an inn somewhere.
Right.
So like, what the hell is Jamie doing carrying this like gemstone? Does he keep it with him all the time? Like I go there. I'm like, does he keep it with him all the time? And like, what's it doing? Like hiding in the, what's it doing? Like he's putting it in like the bedside table of like the inn where they keep the Bible. Like, and what if he forgets it? Like, what if he like leaves and doesn't check all the inn drawers and forgets it? I like go down that road.
You are really, really, you need to suspend. I didn't even think about that.
I'm telling you, I think about stuff like that. I do.
Yeah, but to me, that is as bad, not as bad. I don't want to use the term bad, but that's as much as, still being hung up on Claire having blue eyes. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. And they no, I'm going to disagree because that is an argument of like, she had browns in the books and now she has blue eyes. No, I never make that argument ever. This is just a logic argument. Like it's like at their home, that is something he would keep in his bedside table. In an inn, it's just different. And whatever. Where do you think he should have kept it? Up his ass?
No, in the bedside table at home.
Okay,
like,
okay.
I guess
but
maybe
he brought it with him that if she wanted to go, she'd have it. He was giving the ultimate sacrifice. I do agree with you that I agree with you. You could have forgotten it in the drawer. Like, could you just put it in your pants pocket? What the hell?
But to your point, I do get it that because they weren't going back home, they were going right to IYKYK.
Right.
So yeah, maybe if they couldn't find another gemstone, but yes, to your point, like if she wanted to go, yes, okay, all right, Jamie, all is forgiven. Okay, I get it now. Yes, I would not have put it in the drawer because I have forgotten stuff in hotel rooms that I've left in drawers or things like that. So I would have kept it in the suitcase.
I would
keep it in my suitcase.
Not only would I be the first, but I would yell at my kids for doing the same thing.
But okay, so she tosses it out, and this is another one that I went back in the book and read it. They're just like, whatever. But instead, in the show, they're like, let's toss it up. We might want to go out and find that jewel. Do you have an iPhone that you're at night that you're going to be like, okay, let me find this jewel? Do you have one of your little your little metal detector thingies that you use?
Yeah, with you 1,000%. I think I have. Jamie gives Claire a tiny little gem, and then in all caps I have, and she throws it out the window to make a point. And then I have when they've been hoarding them for years just in case they need them. That's ridiculous. That is what I have written down. And it's the truth. That's what I said earlier. She could have made her point without throwing it out. That was just insane. And I get it. And I appreciate that she was trying to show him there's never a time. But guess what? If Jamie died and Bree and Roger went back with the kids and Jamie died, I'm sorry. I get it. I'd be like, okay, I'm coming. Get HBO all queued up because I'm coming home.
But she worries about it at that point. But I get it, Jamie. I get Jamie saving the stone for her. I just didn't like it. You have rationalized it in my head now. They were on their way to IYKYK. Jamie was like, maybe she still wants to leave. Maybe she wants to go back with them. I have this gem. I will bring it with me.
Was lovely because he's like, this is her daughter going through this with her daughter. I'm going to give her the opportunity to go if she wants to go. He didn't know. He didn't know what she would say. And it was lovely that she said hell no, I'm not leaving you. It was great.
Right. All right. So we take the boat to IYKYK, and there's the stones. Speaking of which, off topic, Third Sister Jill is in the UK right now.
Yeah, she was at Stonehenge today.
And she was at Stonehenge during the summer solstice, you guys. And then she was like, oh, well, they didn't have, like, I didn't go through stones, but they had, like, the fire feast ladies. I'm going to post that picture on Instagram.
I think what she was saying was she couldn't get any closer to the stone. She wasn't allowed to.
I think what she was saying is that she tried, but, like, didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah, well, I was at Grounds for Sculpture on Sunday, and they had stones, and I took pictures. So I will be posting.
I've been there, but I think I posted those on Instagram when I went there, like, a couple years ago. Anyway, there are the stones. And then we proceed to, like, 10 solid minutes of crying because they make sure, all the mathematical permutations of, like, who could say goodbye to who. We have them all. We have Claire and Roger, Claire and Bree, Claire and Jamie. We have Roger and Jamie, Bree and Jamie, all of them in one big tiered street, scene.
Yes, I have. Obviously, when you've lost somebody, this type of stuff really kills you. And Roger said, I'll remember you to the children. So many stories to tell them. And I was like, I do that daily. That's what you do when you lose someone, is whether they're, in this case, and I also have that written down too somewhere around here, the fact that they're not dying. And this is what she was bringing up. This is what they were talking about. They're not dying. They're going to a different time. And then they sort of mention that. I'll get to it. Like, I'll get to that because they mention that later.
I didn't even write down a whole huge, massive thing of specifics. I just said, I did think it was interesting when Claire said to Bree, the last 2 times we've said goodbye, it wasn't really goodbye. So who knows? Like,
right.
Claire and Bree have seen it all. They really have, more than anybody.
I loved Nothing is Lost, Only Changed. And I said, oh my God, I need that on a poster.
I felt like that was like Einstein, like matter, like with mass
it might
matter
be.
or something,
which would make sense with Diana Gabaldon with all her science degrees.
I just like Claire. Like, Claire is not holding out hope, but she's seen it all and nothing phases her, and she's just like, "Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Go with God."
How did you like how Jamie said to Claire, for your sake, I will continue, but for mine alone, I would not?
Is that later?
I don't know. I'm still on the part of them leaving. Giving the kids gems is right above that. Because then I have, was that a bullet Bree gave Mandy?
I think it was a thimble.
I
thought it was a thimble.
I go, does silver work? I thought it had to be a gemstone.
I just said, Claire saying goodbye to Gem, take care of your baby sister, and
yes. And
cry.
What I just said, that for your sake I will continue, had to be there, because then after that I still have a picture of Jemmy with the plane.
I think it's after they leave. Yes, Jemmy with the plane is when they land.
Well, I do it all in order, and that's where I have it.
I know. Well, all right. I had like Claire saying goodbye to Gem, Jamie to Roger. I'm proud of you, Roger Mac. Like,
that killed me.
And then we get to Jamie to Gem. Now, non-book readers, you need to know that this line that Jamie says to Gem is probably top 10 in the series.
Tracey's top 10 in the series.
Anybody's top 10. Like where is it? Like, in general, where does it stand?
I don't know where it
stands.
Certainly
top 20. Top 20.
I loved it, but it's always been my Tracey thing. You absolutely just love the whole Disneyland and Jamie and Jen.
Yes, I do. I remember losing it when I read the book. I have, if you go on outlanderpurgatory.com and you dig around enough, you're going to find some playlists from when we were reading the books. The playlist for this scene is, and always will be, You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan, sung by Phil Collins. And when you read that little exchange with Jamie and Jemmy, and And in the books, it says Jamie says it like very conversationally, like very like sort of almost to diffuse like some like real emotion, whatever. He's just like, you know, if you should see a large mouse named Michael, tell him your granddad sends his regards.
Oh my God. I tried to play the song. I tried to play the song, and then all of a sudden you disappeared, and that song was in my ears, and I was like, am I screwing with the audio right now of this video? She'll kill me.
Stay on now and forevermore. I just love it. And I mean, I do think that is a super, super known and loved line and moment in the series.
Agreed. Absolutely.
And they did a wonderful job. Like slow golf clap to Sam. And that was a line that, like, had they not done that line, like, there would have been hell to pay. But so good. I like cried the whole way through it. And then Jamie and Bree. Everybody. Oh my God. The whole thing. And the way that they walk through, the way that they, like, Roger and Bree holding hands.
Yeah.
They just walked.
Yeah.
And they sort of like, craned the shot a little bit. And,
yeah. It was good.
And I have a question. Is this the first time that Jamie has ever seen anybody go through?
I was wondering the same thing. No, Claire.
But he didn't see her go through. He saw her, and this was in the book. In the book, the very first time, when he brings her back, the very first time,
right.
And it's sort of like by accident, and he like pushes her, like, no, do it. And then she starts to go, and he pulls her away. And she like kind of passes out, and she wakes up, and he's like, oh my God, you almost went, like you were going, and oh my God, that was the craziest thing ever. So
right.
He's sort of seen her like almost go.
Right.
And I don't even know if in the TV show they did it that way. But at Culloden, he didn't see her because he's like, being chased by goons or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know if this is the first time he's ever seen anybody like go. So, okay. So they go through, Jamie and Claire are like, then we see, and maybe that's when he said, yeah, I don't have the strength to be with, by myself or whatever he said.
No, because I do everything in order.
Okay. I don't know that I wrote it down, to be honest.
Unless I accidentally put it and it jumped.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I didn't. The scene with them back in the bed, like later on, I didn't really even write that much stuff about it. So clearly Roger. Go back to Roger. Let's go to Roger and Bree and the kids, and they wake up
and the plane,
and they're there, but they don't know what time frame it is,
right?
And then they see the plane, and they know.
Awesome. Loved it. When I know, because I loved it. I love it. I think him having the plane, and then the plane was so cool.
I wondered when Jemmy was playing with that plane, like when they were in Wilmington, I was like, boy, they're being like loose and fast with the like modern shit, aren't they? Like, I thought he had the vroom vroom car. I didn't realize he had a plane too. And he's just like, yada, 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 here we go. Like, well, that's why. That's why. And it worked really well.
And on the one hand, it's kind of like, well, how the hell does he know to go, how does he know? And then I'm like, well, if he knows what the hell newborn Mandy's thinking, then I guess it's not too odd that he probably has the sight like Jamie. Jamie has the sight and he has the sight.
Maybe newborn Mandy was like, that's a plane, der. And he's like, really? What's that? And she's like, it's a thing in the sky that takes people places. Don't you know anything?
That's something we're about to get on when we land in Carolina with no money on us, but we're gotta get home, so we're gonna get on the plane.
Yeah, we're gonna. Oh my gosh. Well, all right, maybe. Okay. So you guys, it has happened. Roger and Bree are in the future. What do we think? Tell us in the comments.
Where are they?
In the future. In the future.
They're in the future.
In the future. Except we don't talk like that anymore because we don't have Claire. We have Roger and Bree has an American accent.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like, I don't even remember in the books, well, first of all, a couple things. So it makes a little more sense now when book readers back in season 5, when Roger and Bree were like, yeah, we think we're going to go back to the future. Like, we're good. We're good with this time period. Donna, it's been great seeing you, meeting you, Mama, Mark seeing you again, but we're out. We're done. We're out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
When book readers were like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Over. Roger.
What's going on? Is this what? So all of that business of Roger and Bree trying to go back and not being able to, all made up. Nothing from the books. But we knew Roger and Bree really, if they stuck to the books, were really going to need to go back to the future.
And have been discussing that and wondering, like, in little circles where we try not to let you guys know who haven't read it. We're like, are they going to go back?
We probably, in that episode, we're probably like, all right, we're doing a spoiler alert. And then, we're like, sorry. But like, we did not know what the heck's going on, but,
right.
We do, now you know. So they're going to be in the future. How they're going to do anything without anybody, because Carol's right. Like, at least going back to the past,
about that.
you could like find some money. Like, maybe Claire had, you know what? I bet you that both Bree and Roger and maybe Claire, like, had some American money, just brought some with them. Just
right.
When you go to Europe, you keep a couple dollars in your wallet for when you get home.
You bring them home and give them to your kids, they took money from the 18th century and went somewhere and said, what will you give me for this 18th century?
Well, yeah, but they had to get there. And like, they're sitting there in Ocracoke. I mean, I feel like it was a kind of a cool shot because I could be totally making this up. That when they go in the past, there's like, it's the deserted, whatever. But then in the present, you sort of see a skyline on the other side of the river.
Mm-hmm.
Am I kind of like making that up because I wanted to?
You're kind of almost losing me because like I'm just like, whatever, suspend disbelief. It is what it is.
Whatever. But you brought up the money, so of course my brain is working now. Like, that's true. Like, do they have any money? How are they going to get anywhere? Like, there's no Uber. Like, they're going to have to find civilization. How do they make that? Shut it down.
Jemmy's going to read tarot cards.
Jemmy's going to count cards. He's going to be like,
exactly.
Oh boy, 16. Should I play on that? Mandy? No, take a hit. Okay, hit.
Yes. So next, what do we see, Tracey?
All right. So we see
what do we
Claire
see?
going this way or that way.
I was dying to know if you got it too. I literally have in all caps, cold dark shot of Jamie and Claire riding this way, that way.
So they're home. They try to get busy. Claire can't. She's super upset. Like, did I miss something?
No, I'm sorry. I just have like, Jamie and Claire riding this way, that way, back on the ridge. And then I have, you just know something's going to be wrong. Did you feel it? Like, didn't you just feel
100%. 100%. Well, they try to get it on and she's just like, she can't do it.
Is it me?
So here's another thing. Okay. I've said more than once.
Get on alone before she just hops on Pop and all of a sudden is like, Rah! And I'm like, were you keeping it real over there by yourself while he was asleep? Like, what's going on right now? So, okay. This is another instance of a scene that was in the books. It's right in the books, but it was moved. In the books, this happens right after all the jail stuff. And they moved it to right after all the Bree and Roger go back stuff. Okay.
And to me, it's another thing that makes much more sense right after the jail stuff when Claire is still really traumatized. She's still like, I don't know which end is up. I don't know who I am anymore. Like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know. And it feels like she needs to like release this trauma.
Right.
And I mean, I guess it's believable, like a couple months down the road after Roger and Bree have left. You know, sure. It just, I don't know. It seemed to me to make more sense where it was in the book than here.
I don't know. I did understand like the closeness of it. Like she just needed to be close with him. And I'm sorry, but that shot of him laying there shirtless, I was like, yup. It made total sense to me.
Like, I almost wonder if I would have switched it. So, like, I would have done that, like, I mean, I get it that, like, you want the gem to be available should Claire want to go back with them. But I still feel like, you know, you could do it where, like, they go back and then you're back at the Ridge and Jamie pulls out the gem and is like, you know, maybe you want to go back with Roger and Bree. Maybe you want to join them back there. I feel like that scene would have been like, and then switch the trauma scene.
Are you back to the nightstand? Oh my God, we're back to the nightstand. I'm talking about hop, and you're talking about Did you?
I don't know.
Did you see what I was talking about though in that scene?
Yes, he didn't have a shirt on.
No,
I guess
I rewound because I was like, wait, whoa. And then I watched it again and I was like, okay, her one hand is right here. Where's her other hand? Because
I think I just drank a bug.
Ew. Protein.
I know.
She was raring to go immediately. And I was like, what was she doing over there? I just didn't understand. I did understand he's laying there. And I'm sorry, I guess I'm being very shallow, but he did look really amazing. And because at that age, anyway, I just felt like she wanted to be close to him. Her daughter's gone, you know, the family's gone. She wanted to be close with him. And that's what she was trying to do. I just didn't understand why she was so over the top about it the second she rolled over.
It was kind of weird. It was like, la 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 la, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
You don't want to know what I was thinking about during this scene. What I was watching for.
Not his hot chest?
No, what's on the other side of his hot chest? The back scars.
Oh my God. I didn't think about that at all. Why are you thinking
I was 100% like,
scars?
wait, let me see the back scars. Are they just like lighting it so that like, did they do the full makeup? Are they just lighting it so that like can sort of like looks like the back scars are there, but they didn't really do the full makeup?
Lighting
like,
it?
Would they waste it? Would they waste it? Like, would they waste the expense of the full back for this shot where you can only see a little bit of it?
I don't remember seeing his back.
You did. You saw it, but you only saw a little bit of it. That's why I was saying, like, did they do the full on back makeup? Did they light it like so that it would look like it's scarred? This is why I can't watch any of this. This is why I can't watch like hot scenes anymore because all I do is think about like how they did them technically.
Not me, man. I was like, wow.
I know.
Look at that.
I'm a weirdo.
You're not weirdo. I've been single for 4 years.
I'm a weirdo. But let's get through the rest of this because
please, for the love of all that's holy. Come on now.
All right, so we have a little montage. Lizzie is her baby. Jamie's like, all right, you can have your two husbands.
Wait. I'm sorry, I gotta go back. We just talked about the funny stuff, like my God, that scene between the two of them with her sobbing.
All right, yeah.
Oh okay. My God, I was like, what do you call the reel? That's like
yes, it's her Emmy episode.
The Emmy reel, like, dear God, she was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to crawl into the bed with them. Oh my God. She was so,
and he
so
was great
powerful.
too. He was like, like, let it out, and I'll take you home.
I felt that when she was like, they're all gone. Oh, he's
Mhm.
gone. I was, oh my God, I felt that like crazy.
Yeah. And in that regard, it was a good place to put that, like where, they're all gone. I don't know if that's what she's referring to in the books, but like here with everybody in her life, everybody is gone.
I don't know what she said to make me write this down, but this is what I said earlier when I was like, I'm going to say it later. I have written down time travel is like death and death is like time travel. Like, honestly, you can kind of think about it that way. Like, when this person goes, where are they? When are they? You know what I mean? It's like when I read the beginning of Dragonfly and Amber and I called you, you were like, read page 1 and call me. And I was like, he's dead. And you were like, Carol, the whole series, when the series started, he was dead. You were like, it was too, I mean, when the second.
And James says himself.
You were like,
James
in book 2, you were like, book 2 started and it was 200 years ahead. He was dead. So
James says that himself.
That type of stuff and the stuff in my personal life, you really just wonder where, but when. All of it. It's very cool. Okay.
All right. So Lizzie has her baby. She gets to like keep her husband. Jamie's like, yeah, all right, you're all freaks, but like whatever. It's all good. So Claire's like off gallivanting somewhere. She comes back with her wee basket and the door is open.
Now, immediately.
Are we going to blame the victim here? Are we going to blame the victim here? Because like, should she have gone in?
No, that's not blaming the victim. Your door is open. You've had so much shit go down. You live in the wilderness. Turn your ass around and go to someone's house.
Well, now, in her defense, like, you got people coming in and out of that house all the time. You have Mrs. Bug. You have Archbug. You have Lizzie. You have any number of, Ian. You have Jamie.
But it was dark.
Any number of people in and out of that house all the time.
It was dark, and think about what she has been through. Hell no. You see that door open, you're going to turn around and go get someone and say, I might be being just silly, but
I wouldn't have gone in. I would have I wouldn't have necessarily been like, oh my God, it's full of like people who want to kill me. But I might have just like been like, let's walk over to the barn. Let's walk in the breezeway. Let's sort of or let's not go in that way. Let's go in the back way and see what's up there.
I'll tell you what way we're going in. We're going in the way, wherever the way is where Jamie keeps the guns. That's where we're going in. Because my ass is not walking in that house without some type of protection.
Yeah. I got it. Okay. So she walks in, and of course, there is an intruder, and it's Donner.
Douche.
And Donner's sitting there with the matches. He's like, this is really great. Like, where'd you get these? She's like, what? And no, Bree made them. I also made them. He's like, I should have had these. Whatever. So he seems like he's just there by himself, sitting at the kitchen table. She's like, okay, whatever.
Being a douche.
But he wants a gem. He's just done. He's done with the 18th century. He wants to go home.
And she's like, get in line. I've been dealing with my own shit.
She's like, yeah. She's like, no. He's like, I need to know how to do it. She's like, well, all right. You steer. You think of people. You can't be drunk, you dumb shit. Like, you gotta like steer. You gotta focus. You need to like think about like somebody from that time period. He's like, yeah. Also, you need a gem, and you need to give me one. Oh, because I have all my friends hiding back there. That was too stupid. That was just dumb.
Well, listen, Donner, if you want to just go to that inn we just came from, there's one right outside the second floor window.
Like, was it just me, or like, did we really need did Donner talk to his guys? Like, it's just the whole thing was weird to me. Like, he's bringing a posse of guys, right? The guys have already taken Jamie, taken Mrs. Bug, taken God knows who else, but they're like waiting in the kitchen just in case Donner like convinces, just in case Donner's sitting there and Claire's like, oh yeah, sure, wait, let me get my gem. Here you go, here's the gem, bye. And then that's what happens. Then does he be like, okay, you can let all those people go? Like, why are you hiding in the kitchen? Why aren't they just all there like they do in the books?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because you have to suspend disbelief.
No. This is different. Like in the books, you know, she walks in basically and is like confronted by the whole lot of them. Like, why this separation of just Donner? Like, and then it's like, well, you know, because I want to gem, and like, oh, here's my gun, and hey, y'all, come out.
Because it's interesting. Because it was,
and they've got all of them like pour out. I just thought it was like
I think it's because it was
super contrived.
I think it was interesting to hear the whole modern day, like you're from the future, I'm from the future, we're both from the future.
Okay, so you're saying that he wanted to get into it with her, talk about the future.
No, I'm saying the Hollywood people wanted them to discuss the future because it was interesting. And it gave us a little bit of thrill after all that crap.
Okay, all right, I can kind of buy that.
Like when Claire noticed, and again, I don't even remember the show, I'm thinking more of the books, Gaelis's vaccination scar.
All right, I still would have done it differently, and here's how I would have done it. I would have had her walk in, like clearly they're all there. They're you know holding Jamie. They've got Jamie. They got Mrs. Bug, whoever else. I would have had Donna be like, "You, Claire, come here. I need to talk to you," and like pulled her into the surgery or wherever and have her talk there. It was just kind of weird to be like, you know. It's just me. Oh, no, it's not. It's like all my posse, too.
I'll tell you what it was just kind of like. It was just kind of Hollywood. She walks in and he's sitting in the dark in the chair and she didn't see him right away. That is such...
They should have had a thunderbolt.
It's almost... I don't want to say it's almost lazy, but it's... I mean...
It was just weird. Like, I think they could have done it in a better way, a more realistic scare. Like, whatever. It's all good. Whatever. Okay. In any case, unless you have something else to say about that, he's got his gun. He's got his friends. His friends have Jamie. His friends have Mrs. Bug. They all, like, you know, on his signal, they all come out. Great. Now it's a party. And then stuff starts happening really fast. And that's the way it is in the book, too. This scene in the book is as funny as it is scary because so much shit is going down. So Jamie does not know who Donner is at this point. And when he finally he doesn't realize that Donner was one of Brown's men.
He lunges.
When he realizes that, he lunges. He's like out to get him, pound him. Guys come out with Mrs. Bug's like knitting or whatever.
Right.
Dumps it out. Oh, look, there's a gold bar. It's the French gold. We are going there, you guys. We are going to the French gold story. We might have to go to another 45 minutes of this Zoom thing that we use because good Lord, that's not to talk about too.
We'll talk about that.
We are doing French gold, you guys. Very quickly, if you recall, when Jocasta described how Hector. The French gold is the gold that they had to try to get Prince Mark Me, to the throne.
Mark Me.
And it ended up in different areas, but Hector and Jocasta had a bunch of it that sort of went missing. It's a long story, but in any case, oh look, there's a gold bar that the bugs have.
Oh, look, the bugs have the gold that's been missing.
Yes. So then Jamie's like goes from Donner, like, I'm going to kill you, to like, Art's bug in Gaelic. And then he and Art start speaking in Gaelic, like, the hell is going on? Like,
I loved that.
And Art bug is like, you're not the boss of me. And Jamie's like, well, yeah, I sort of am.
Yeah. Loved it. I loved that when they broke out into the Gaelic.
Yeah, Arch is like, mind your own beeswax, Jamie. And Jamie, I'm just like, Jamie and Gaelic, huh? Arch and Gaelic, mind your own beeswax. Jamie and Gaelic, oh, no, we disagree. They're totally forgetting it. They're like in their own world here. They're like,
And then Donner's like, the hell are you talking about? Stop that.
But Donner doesn't care about the gold. He just wants the gems. He needs a gemstone. Right. So they're like, let's go over there to the surgery. And
oh,
I know. That reminded me of something that I'm totally going to interject, which is just that I thought that it was interesting that Claire said she did not have a theater. That's one reason she couldn't operate on Mandy, because she didn't have a theater.
Oh, okay.
It's an operating room, but in British. It's kind of cool. Okay. So they're like, go over there and the surgery. And Claire's like, no, stop, go there. There's nothing in there. So they're going in, throwing this, throwing out, go into the cabinet. Clearly Claire has locked up the ether so that she's not tempted by it. But the ether, somebody pulls out ether, boom, on the floor. They're like, what's that smell? Oh my God, it's the ether. So I wish that, like, in the books, they all kind of start dropping. Like they all start really feeling it. And you can you can really tell like the ether is affecting all of them. And that doesn't really happen here. Because I don't know, they're like, we can't see anything. And Donner's like, here, use one of these, the matches that Bree has. And they're the Bree made. And Donner goes to strike it, and Claire's like, oh. Boom.
I don't remember what he was using the match for.
Yeah, I don't really remember because it was happening so fast. I thought it was maybe like they didn't have any light, or they needed more light to see if there was a gem anywhere.
Okay. So you're Donner, you're from modern day, and you're going to light a match knowing that there's like, you just spilled bottles of God knows what. You know she's a doctor. You know she's a surgeon. She's already said, don't breathe it in. They're all holding shit over their nose. And my man's going to light a match.
Let me ask you this. If you hadn't read the Outlander books, would you know any that was flammable, or would you light a match? I would 100% light the match. I wouldn't know.
No, I would never light a match. I know she's a surgeon. I know she's got all kinds of tinctures in there. That's her surgery in there. You just went into something and unlocked and broke in. So clearly it's something important, and you're knocking it all over the ground. You don't know what, it's all in little bottles. Of course I'm going to think, oh shit, I'm not lighting a match around here.
I probably would not have thought of that. The only thing I would not light a match around is gas. But this is just liquid. I mean, I don't know anything.
Do you ever read the back of your bottles in your bathroom?
Yeah, but I'm in this. I don't know any of that stuff.
But you're from modern day. You have bottles that say on the back, flammable, do not, whatever.
Yeah, it's flammable. If I take this bottle of wine and I have a match, and I go, blah, 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 of course it's not good. But it's not going to blow my house sky high. It's probably going to make a big, thingy like that.
I don't know. That scares
me. No, I would never.
That's you. That's you. For me, I would absolutely never in 5 million years light a match near a liquid.
What would you guys do?
That I didn't know what it was.
What would you guys do?
And again, science family. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks differently.
Ironically, in the books, it's Ian that lights the match.
To me, that makes almost more sense because he's not from the future.
Could be. I don't know. I probably stop. In the heat of all this, you're not thinking. You're just I can't find anything. I just want to get out of here.
Well, and now I'm going, what? I don't remember what happens in the books. I got to whip my book back out. And I'm like, where are we going now? Everybody's screwed. What the hell?
I know.
I don't know.
Literally,
you guys, those of you who haven't read the books, I am where you are right now. I have no idea what's going to happen next week.
I do remember what happens.
Ultimately, I remember what happens, but right away, I'm like, how?
I have a feeling that we're not going to see, it's not going to be, the next second. I have a feeling that, it's going to be...
Oh, okay.
The next day, the next week, whatever.
Right.
I don't think we can expect that Donner and his posse have survived this, for sure. I think the question is, did Claire survive? Did Jamie
That's
survive?
what
Did
I was
Mrs.
just going to
Bug survive?
say.
Did Mr. Bug survive?
They're all in the same room together, and he lit a match, and the whole thing went kaplooey.
Well, I think that, like, you know, Donner is like patient zero here. He's got to be done. His dudes are like right around him. I don't think Claire was actually in the room, was she?
I don't know,
because the dudes were holding her. Were the dudes holding her back, or am I just making that up?
because he went into her surgery and started.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be a goner because he was holding the match.
He's a goner, Donner.
Let's just call him Goner. Hey, we don't know though, guys. Don't think we're giving spoilers because we have no idea what's happening now.
He wasn't a goner the first time, so
right,
there you go.
Right.
And that's the episode. This one was really, I mean, despite the bad wigs, despite, you know, like the moving scenes around, despite you know, anything we would have like the cleanest birth ever to happen in the world. Like a birth that happened in Disneyland, the happiest birth on earth.
Oh my God.
It was a really great episode. It was a really great episode. Carol, what did you think?
I mean, sure. I like the excitement of the end. I literally have like the last 5 minutes of this show are great. I don't, you know, because I don't like I would much rather the fun and excitement over the, you know, I do love the poignancy of some of it, but it was hard. This episode was very hard for me. Any of the stuff about going to the future, going to the past, you know, not knowing where someone is. Bree and Roger are going through those stones and they have Jamie have no way of knowing what's going to happen to them.
Right.
So that was upsetting for me. It was like they were dead, you know, them like you're kissing them goodbye and that's that.
Right.
So it was definitely an upsetting episode. It was very good, you know, obviously very well done. I just thought that Kate during that scene where she had to lose it on him was so awesome. Just really awesome. And the Lord John stuff with William and
I know. Oh my God. I wonder if we're going to see more William this season.
Love William.
I don't know. I just, so good. So good.
Yeah, because they made a big deal about casting him. I highly doubt they would do that for one scene. He's got to be around.
I know. So much different stuff happened. Like, they packed so much into this episode.
Yeah. That's why you were saying, like, in the very beginning, they probably, like, it might have been better if they had tied that all up last week, but whatever.
Right.
But we got to see Alexander, so it was all good.
I know. So that's it, you guys. Tell us what you thought in the comments of this episode. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic, as I said. You know, let us know what you thought. We have plenty of questions for you in this commentary. So let us know what you thought. Answer all of the various polls we've thrown at you. And I think that's it. Carol, any last thoughts?
No last thoughts, Tracey. I think we're good. We can't wait to see you guys next week. And just
there you go. So
get those seatbelts on.
One more reminder to follow us, like us, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, on Twitter. We're still on Twitter. You know, lots of people have come and go on there, but we're still hanging in. On Instagram, we do need to up the Instagram game a little, and we're trying to do that. And on TikTok, because as I mentioned, we need a TikTok, and I'm very proud of it. And maybe we'll have another one. And we'll I don't know. We have to talk about doing since we're not really live tweeting this season, we have to talk about doing something else, like whether it's a happy hour or something. I don't know. It's just going to be, if we do something, it'll be spur of the moment, spontaneous, because that's kind of gals we are.
Yes. And I'll tell you what else. I would love to hear everybody's thoughts. Like, if you have something that you'd like to see us do, make the suggestion. We always want to know, like, you know, what people would like to have us do. We talk about doing some live things, and so we'll see.
It'd be super fun. But I think that's it. I think that's it. So follow us on all the different places. Of course, my Outlander Purgatory. check us out there. Check out the merch. We have lots of merch. We have a William shirt that is super fun.
And we have some specials coming up here and there too. So it's all good.
Yep. So that's it. So we will see you next week. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.